Alright everybody, last video of the unit here, video number 7, we have auxiliary lines. So our goal here is to be able to use an auxiliary line. So the three things we got to do by the end of the video is you'll be able to define an auxiliary line, draw in an auxiliary line, and then use that auxiliary line to solve some problems. So first, what is an auxiliary line? So an auxiliary line is a line segment or a line that is added to a diagram to help in solving a problem or proving a concept. So one example of an auxiliary line in this picture, right, would be if I drew in a third line or a third parallel line right about here through point P. Okay, and this would be parallel to both of these. So this would be considered my auxiliary line. Now, using that is going to help us in solving for some missing angles that we probably wouldn't be able to do without it. Alright, so let's go down, let's get right into an example because that's going to be the easiest way for me to show you how to use one of these things. Alright, so first, using an auxiliary line that is parallel. So we're going to solve for angle G here. So angle G is this entire angle. And as I told you in the parallel line videos, I like to extend my parallel lines just to make them a little bit easier to see and a little bit easier to use. Now, in doing so, what you'll notice is we don't really have a definitive transversal. Like neither of these two lines go all the way through both parallel lines. This is where an auxiliary line is really helpful. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw in an auxiliary line that's parallel to both, and we're going to use that to solve for G. Now, if you notice, G got split into two angles. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's split in half. All right, so these two parts here might not be equal. We're going to use 144 and 56 to figure it out. All right, so let me try to highlight this and just use this bottom portion here with this transversal. So if this angle is 56, I know that this portion of G also has to be 56 degrees because they are alternate interior angles since our auxiliary line is parallel to our bottom line. Now, we're going to do the same thing in the sense that we are now going to use, I'll use the pink marker to do the top, we are now going to use this parallel line and the auxiliary line to find this missing angle. And that's going to help us find angle G because we can just add them together. All right. So the next thing that I would do is 144 is a linear pair with this angle. So I would take 180 minus 144 and I would wind up with 36. After I get 36 here, I know that this 36 and this angle down here are alternate interior angles. Therefore, this is also 36. And the last thing I would need to do to find angle G, which we said in the beginning was this entire thing, was I'm going to add 36 and 56 together to get 92 degrees. All right, that's going to be my angle G. All right, so that's one example of an auxiliary line. Another way we can use an auxiliary line is we can extend a transversal and use triangle theorems to solve this. So I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to extend both of these parallel lines. If you notice, it's the same problem. I'm just going to give you a different way to do it. And then this time, instead of drawing an auxiliary line down the middle, I'm actually going to extend this transversal down here all the way up so it touches both. So something like this would make this problem a little bit easier. And if you see, we're going to kind of create a triangle. All right. So if this angle is 56, then I know that this angle is 56 because alternate interior angles. All right. And again, the 144 and this guy make up a linear pair. So this is going to be 36 again. And if you notice, we have a triangle here with an exterior angle of G. So I know I can add 36 plus 56 to get 92 for angle G using that exterior angle theorem. All right, so auxiliary lines are really helpful in solving some of these questions. Some of them you really need it in order to finish. We don't see them too often. That's why you're not going to have a mastery check on this. We're just going to get right into review and take our test. But it is good to know how to use. All right, we got two more examples. Try to make this video a little shorter. All right, so solve for angle W. This time they have the auxiliary line drawn in. It's going to be this dotted line right here. Okay, so we need to find angle E and angle F. And again, you want to look at the pictures separate. So I'm going to look at these parallel lines kind of as their own picture with this transversal here. So I know 41 and angle E are alternate interior angles, all right, because these are going to be parallel. So this is also 41 degrees. And if I highlight in pink, I'm going to use this right side of the drawing, or the top half of the drawing, depending on which way you turn it, and this transversal to tell me that 35 and F are alternate interior angles, which makes this 35. And if I add them together, I'm going to get the whole angle, or angle W, which is going to be 76 degrees, right? And that would be my final answer here, right? So this question would probably be impossible without that auxiliary line down the middle, splitting W into E and F. So this is where we have to be able to draw them in. Sometimes it's not going to be so obvious on what to do. Other times it'll be a little bit easier. So let's look at this one here for angles B and angle C. Again, I really like to just start by extending my parallel lines. It just makes the picture easier for me to visualize. And then I can pick my transversal or what I want to do next. So the next thing I would look at is this transversal here. And I can see that 46 and C are alternate interior angles. So I know that this also has to be 46 degrees. Okay. Now, how are we going to find angle B? Well, I'm going to unhighlight this because I have a different picture in mind for angle B. So the other thing we're going to look at here is we're going to look at this triangle with an exterior angle of 94. And if you remember, our exterior angle theorem states that if I add these two remote angles up, I'm going to get the exterior angle. So I could say B plus 46 equals 94, and then subtract 46 from both sides, and I would get angle B equals, let's see, 48 degrees. All right, so that's how we'd use auxiliary lines in this question. There are plenty of different ways you can do this question. There are definitely some other ways to do this that might be a little bit easier. So if you see something different, you want to give it a try, and let me know. We'll go over it and see if it makes sense. You can. All right, but this is really it for auxiliary lines. This is a nice short video for you guys. Again, write down some questions or in a short summary and get yourself working on the practice, and then we'll start reviewing for our test on this. All right, and I guess until next time, I'll talk to you guys in the next unit.